We had a superb game in the sunshine at Thomond Park as both teams really turned up for this one. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Munster, they get an early penalty in this one. Ulster not rolling away. Crowley kicks it to the corner, but then they overthrow the line out. Ulster claim it and they end up going back over their own line. They get caught behind that line as well. And it looks like it's going to be a 5-metre scrum to Munster, but then we get a TMO review and it's a shoulder to head from Morgie Snyman. Commentary talking about a red card. I think it definitely should have been some kind of card for him, at least 10 minutes in the bin, but it's only given as a penalty, and I think he was very lucky to, not see a card there, and we may see, a sighting or something from that. We'll have to see. Jeremy Loughman then gets over the ball as Izuchuku was carrying for Ulster. Crowley up the line into the 22. Sheridan then, he has to come on for Treadwell, who goes off with an ankle injury, and Sheridan's first act is to give away a penalty for changing his bind in the maul. Munster kicked that to the corner. Ulster managed to halt the maul initially, but Munster go again. They stop just short of the line, then they spread the ball. Timoney manages to knock it out of Byrne's hand, but he knocked it forward. We then have a TMO check to see if Snyman got there the phase before, and he reached out and you can see that he grounded it on the line to score. Just massive long arms from him to be able to do that. Crowley converts for 7 points to 0. Ulster then, they come back, they work the ball to the edge of 22. Good carries from Lowry and Moore. Crowley gets pinged for playing the 9. Ulster go to the corner, they set up the maul, it's moving forward, and Herring peels off to score. Cooney converts, and there were 7 points all. Sean O'Brien then, he's offside, penalty to Ulster. We play a long advantage before we come back. Not much comes of the advantage, apart from there's a wrestling match between Zebo and Moore. It looked like Simon Zebo enjoyed that one. Back then for the penalty, Cooney makes it 10 points to 7. Stockdale then, he's off his feet, so Munster kicked the penalty to the edge of 22. Byrne knocks on it. Munster look to spread it, and Ulster clear after Stockdale ran over Casey as well, running the ball out. Back on Munster though, off the top from the line out, ran about halfway, great hands across the line. Zebo releases Nash, he steps Lowry. Timoney then covers across, puts in a great tackle, and then a phase or two later, Munster knock on. Ulster being super competitive at the breakdown and really are making life difficult for Munster there. Ulster then, they're on the attack, but they get pinged and then they get marched back 10 meters as well, thanks to some back chat from Timmy. And the referee, for most of the evening, not happy with some of the chat he's getting from the players. And Crowley then, he misses touch, and it feels like a bit of a let off. But Munster, they lose Rory Scannell to an ankle injury, and Carberry is on for him. Bit of a loss there, Rory Scannell, because they've been losing centres a lot recently. With Frisch and Ankerville, I think they're both out as well for this one. From here then, Munster, they're on attack. The ball goes to the deck, but then Crowley does really well to retrieve it and then gives an absolutely brilliant offload. They break down the left, but they knock on in the edge of the 22. Postlethwaite then, he releases Stockdale on Ulster's left. He chips over and chases, but then Daly does really well to get back and cover. And Munster carried it over, but Crowley kicks it out on the full, thinking that that's half time. We come back for a 5-minute scrum to Ulster. They then win a penalty at the scrum. Loughman is pinged for wheeling. Ulster, they elect to tap the penalty. they're battering away at the line, and then McCann, he gets over to score. It's converted for 17 points to 7 at half time. Really good from Ulster there, because not too long ago you might have seen them, from that penalty, maybe just take the points or try go to the corner, or knock you on or wherever, but probably not getting the score the way they did there. It just shows how much the atmosphere has improved there, and confidence has improved as well. Munster then on the attack in that second half. Daly started off with a great take in the air. Nash then releases Daly a few phases later on the left wing, and to get to the edge of 22, but Snyman knocks it on. Back we come though for a penalty. Crowley goes up the line from that penalty. Good chance for Munster, but the line out isn't straight and the chance is gone. And I thought both teams in the line out, kind of struggled a bit in this one. Munster then coming forward, Snyman with a nice offload, then tries it again a few phases later and gets picked off by McCann. Ulster then win a penalty at the breakdown for hands on the ground from Crowley. Cooney kicks for the post, but it comes off the post, and Munster actually put a decent counter attack in from that, but ultimately comes to nothing. Munster then, they bring on the bulk of their bench and they put in a big push in the scrum. Sean O'Brien, he carries well. Crowley steps into 22, offloads to Coombs, then Casey with a beautiful long pass to Nash, who finishes in the corner. Great flowing move from Munster. Crowley converts from the touchline, 17 points to 14. Ulster though hit back straight away. Izuchukwu, he rides a tackle, I think it might have been from Sean O'Brien, bursts up the middle, hauled down just short of the line, but it's recycled quickly, and Matty Ray gets over to score. Cooney converts for 24 points to 14. Munster, though, they respond within a couple of minutes. Carberry, he snipes close to the line. Ball goes loose, but Casey gets there first. Lovely pickup, and then a pass out to Daly, who goes over to score. Crowley with another touchline conversion, 24 points to 21. Munster then win a scrum penalty, their second of the half so far, up the line, but line out not straight again. But then they begin turning the screw as they're looking for that winning score that would give them top seeding in the playoffs. They get a penalty for Timney offside, decide to go to the corner. Byrne claims the line out. They set up the maul. It's going forward. Backs come in to join, and then over to go. Clark is the score, and it's the bonus point try for them as well. Crowley then hits the post with the conversion, 26 points to 24. Munster, they win another scrum penalty to go up the line. They go through the phases. Clock is ticking down. Warwick, he's off his feet. Another penalty. Crowley lands a long distance penalty to make it 29 points to 24. And that's, Munster then run down the last minute or so of the game. And that was our final score. And Munster finished top of the pile. So really, really great game. Back and forth between the two teams. Very competitive at the breakdown. The line out was a bit of a mess for both teams, but part of it was crooked throws, but also just pressure as well from the opposition there. The scrum as well, like Ulster seemed to be on top in the first half, then Munster in the second half on both attacks also looking in really good form too, which is great for them going into knockout rugby, where one decent set play move could be enough to make the difference between winning and losing there as well. So we're going to have a look at the stats. Just let me pull them up here, and hopefully they are up to date. So let's see. So tries scored 4-3 in favour of Munster. Possession 53-47. So Munster just about edging that. Clean breaks 9-5, and defenders beaten 15-8. So you can see that Munster attack, despite losing so many centres, still going very well. Offloads in 18-6. Some of the offloads were superb, like Snyman and Crowley between them seem to have a ton of offloads. And we'll see when we look at the individual stats a bit later. Defense then, territory 51 to 49, so very close in that one as well. Number of tackles 120 to 134, missed tackles 8 to 15, and tackle success 94 for Munster is superb, and Ulster pretty good as well on 90%. Anything that gets into the 90s really is a very good defensive performance in terms of at least first up tackles. Turnovers 1 then, 5 for Munster, 6 for Ulster. Timney really was a menace for them at the breakdown. Kicks retained then, 1 each. Penalties, 6 from Munster and 13 from Ulster. And Ulster really at times, especially in the second half, on the wrong side of the referee, you could see he wasn't happy. He marched them back in the first half, I think, when Timney gave some back chat. But in the second half, he definitely wasn't happy with complaining from, mostly Cooney, I think. I think Burns maybe on 1 or 2 occasions as well. Then successful carries, 7 for Sean O'Brien, 8 for David McCann. Clean breaks, 3 for Shane Daly. He had a brilliant game. Jacob Stockdale as well, looking in really good form still. 2 clean breaks from him. Defenders meeting then 4 for Daly and 3 for Mike Lowry. And that Ulster backline, that we talked about before earlier on in the season, having all of those talented players in it, but looked like they couldn't string like 3 passes together. Suddenly looking so good, and again having the fresh impetus that they got from bringing Richie Murphy in really has G'd everyone up. Meters made then, 97 for Shane Daly and Izuchukwu with 41 for Ulster. Offloads then, Sneyman with 4 and Eric O'Sullivan with 2. Number of tackles, Lockman, brilliant shift from him, 17, and Nick Timney with 16 from Ulster. And then turnovers 1 for Shane Daly and 2 for Dave McCann as well. So, Daly popping up all over the place really in the game. Okay, so what about both teams? Well, I decided I'm going to wear my Ulster jersey for this one because I think, the Munster jersey, I've got to save that for the round 18 review, given that they're going to be top of the log. So let's start with Ulster, because although it was a loss, it was still a very positive performance given where they are, with this new coaching team. They really put it up to Munster, and it showed how much they have come on under Richie Murphy in such a short period of time. Scrum in the second half, a bit of a concern. It was much better in the first half. Their attack, though, looking much more fluid than we've seen it for most of the season. Line out wasn't as reliable as normal, but that can be said for both teams, I would say. Now, really what they've got to do is they've got to produce that first half performance for 80 minutes in the quarterfinals if they're going to progress any further. Munster then, they trailed for much of the game, but this is a side that knows how to win tight games, and they showed it again today. They were accurate when it really counted. When it comes down to those last kind of 10 minutes or so where the nerves can be jangling a little bit and you've got to be like super accurate and you got to take your points. They did it, and they did it really well. Then they turned the screw as well with that late penalty that just made it that much more difficult for Ulster. Ulster would have to go and score a try rather than trying to get a penalty or a drop goal to win it. Both wingers were excellent. Zebo, very lively while he was on. Peter Manny, a very welcome return to the team. Crowley, that guy, just every time you see him, you can see why he won that battle to be Ireland's first choice number 10, because he's just a level above anything else that we have in the country at the minute. And then also their scrum was very good in the second half and gave them a lot of momentum as well there, and it really did help a lot for them. Sneyman, yes, he was lucky not to at least to have gone to the bin, but that's now in the hands of citing commissioners or whoever. And you you have to say Munster's second half performance really did, deliver that victory for them. Now they're the defending champions, they're top seeds, and I would say that now they're the favourites as well to retain that title.